So as far as this media coverage for the Super Bowl, it's been kind of annoying me, the way, kind of the language used in a lot of these shows. Like, for example, Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to show a clip here of how he talks about Kyle Shanahan.
How do you view him after this loss?
When I saw those guys last night on those sidelines for the San Francisco 49ers, I saw them looking at a coach. You know how you got the coach that never played? You understand? But he's brilliant, and you respect him when you win him. But when you lose him, particularly when you go away from what works, now suddenly the brothers step up on you, and they feel different. If you remember, you know one of the key moments in yesterday's game, real quick, y'all? For Kansas City, it was when Tyrann Mathieu was on the sideline going off. Called them words that can't be repeated over FCC airwaves and like, what we doing? And from that moment, Kansas City went out and made San Francisco pump for the first time and stopped them on those two possessions. He questioned their manner because at some point in time, it ain't about the coaching. It ain't about the plays they call or whatever. It's about us. And yesterday, Kyle Shanahan, you could see it in the eyes of numerous players. They were like, you got to be kidding me. What we doing here? How we go away from what we do? They didn't beat us with us being us. We had to listen and defer to this dude who ain't never been on the field. We had to defer to him and what he got us doing. And this dude is coaching scared and went away from everything that we are. Kyle Shanahan has had an excellent year, and he's proven to be pretty much a damn brilliant coach, offensive mind. But I don't give a damn how brilliant you are. The championship, the fourth quarter of a championship, in 2 occasions, you have been outscored 40-0, not including the 6 points in overtime. 40-0 with 7 possessions and not one single point. No question.
I understand that in this age, the sports analysts are really more sports entertainers than anything at this point. I don't really go into any sports show or sports network to learn anything about the show. I just really go on there to hear two guys talk smack with each other, just try to win an argument. Instead of actually debating what happened in the game, they kind of just want to debate their own points and show how skilled they are at defending their own points by also being ridiculous and entertaining to a point where you feel like you came out of some kind of value after 30 minutes of watching two guys just shout at each other about sports. And it's kind of sad. I feel like ESPN, Fox, all those shows, they have room to have a show where they actually talk deep football, right? And they kind of talk a lot of smack about Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach, all right? Just because you lose a game does not mean you're all of a sudden some kind of, oh, it's a blemish in his career and he'll never be. Everyone loses the Super Bowl, right? Someone has to lose, someone has to win. If it was Andy Reid, we'd be saying the same thing about him. Oh, Andy Reid's always going Super Bowl and doesn't win, right? But I wanted to take a look at the final drive to see if Kyle Shanahan really deserves all this blame he's been getting lately. And what I saw was pretty interesting. Now, this first play he dialed up. All right, so 24-20, comeback with 2:39 left on the clock, fourth quarter for the Super Bowl. This is the stuff we dream about as kids in the backyard. You see a nice play dialed up here, setting a man in motion, and Kyle Shanahan loves the motion calls. And right there, a little gash up the middle, some solid blocking up front. And boom, next play, right? That was great execution. You see the hook and turn block there, and then he just hits the hole and just tries to get as many yards as possible. And I'm trying to show Kyle Shanahan's kind of thought process because I think it was good. I think his coaching was pretty good for the last fourth quarter. The problem was execution. Again, they're loading the box. They're daring San Francisco to attack the sidelines. See how open they are? Down here, they're open. The sidelines are open. So what does he do? He creates a nice little motion to get Kittle the ball. And this is not, Madden where you're guessing where to throw. He knows exactly where he's throwing here. He's going to do a nice little rub concept and get Kittle right here open. And this is a great play. This isn't anything else but Kyle Shanahan's good play design. Look, 2 people right there, bumped. And then you have the easy pass to George Kittle to the sideline, and George Kittle's a great athlete. He gets extra yards, he gets out of bounds. I mean, you save the clock, and now you've basically gotten run yardage on this play, and then you see the O-line do a great job picking up everybody. So now it's under 2 minutes, still down 4, got to score a touchdown, and let's see what's going to happen. Another motion play. Again, Kyle Shanahan loves emotions, and I love seeing them. And Kansas City only rushes 4 on this, and they get gashed for it. They're not getting to the quarterback. He has all time to pick apart the zone here. And what you're going to see out of this play, it's a cover 3. You're going to have the corners doing a bail technique. You're going to have the safety going backwards. And then you're going to have these linebackers take care of the middle of the field. But while Kyle Shanahan, again, this is Kyle Shanahan. This is not Jimmy Garoppolo. This is not a great team and George Kittle just doing the most. Look, this is great play calling, and I'll show it right here. How you beat zone is to have multiple receivers in one location, and then you make the linebacker or the cornerback decide what to pick. And of course, he understands the minds of a cornerback, and he knows he's going to go at the guy right in front of him, right? He's going to try to prevent this drag route from happening, when in all reality, he should be bailing backwards to this guy so that he can cover it, because this Kansas City Chiefs defender can go back here and they can pinch these two, and that's how you play a perfect defense against this play Kyle Shanahan ran. But Kansas City didn't do that. They kind of let the guy wide open. Look at this. This is wide open. This is not Jimmy G's amazing arm talent. This guy's just wide open. All right, and then he gets it to him, and then good discipline to get out of bounds to save the clock. And again, they're moving the ball. All of a sudden, they're doing a great job. Again, Kansas City bringing 4. It's not enough. They're getting torn apart. They can't get to Jimmy. Jimmy's having all day breaking down the defense. This is kind of a busted play, and this is actually a part that is Kyle Shanahan's fault, or at least the receiver's fault. Right here, you should never have 2 receivers in the same exact spot, okay? And I'm pretty sure one of these receivers had a clear route to go backwards, so then it would be a one-on-one with this guy. But instead, you have 2 people in one spot. That means you're basically, there's no point for that route. There's only one route being used out of 2 wide receivers. And then to the left, you did have an opening here, a possible throw to make here, but obviously it doesn't get to that point because the pressure got to the O-line. So that's both the receiver's fault and the O-line's fault, and we're going to see exactly why the O-line messed up this play. And we're going to be looking at the right guard here for this play. He's going to mess up, and I'll show you exactly when. I'll just play it. Look. Okay, right there. It's pretty simple, right? The guy batted it down, and you're saying, oh, well, can you prevent that? Yeah, you actually can. For some reason, this right guard, he turns his head like he's gonna do something about this outside edge rusher, and he's not gonna do anything, right? He just looks, and at this point right here, instead of looking and turning your body like that, he needs to be throwing his hands into his gut to get 95's arms down, but he doesn't, and then 95 arms able to get his, see, like right here, this needs to be a gut punch right there. 2 hands on him, always. He cannot have the ability to move and then jump in the pocket, and then disrupts the play right there. And that, honestly, as bad as a decision was for the wide receivers to run those routes, I think Jimmy completes that. And all right, with 144 left, Kyle Shanahan decides to run an interesting play call. So I don't like this play particularly. What's going to happen is it's just going to be 4 slants, deeper slants, and then shallower slants. And I understand the thought process behind this. I think Kansas City is going to try to protect the perimeter because they know they've been throwing outside so often. So Kyle Shanahan says, you know what, we're not just going to attack the outside of the field, we're going to attack the middle of the field. And that's great, but with so many slants being run, it's kind of easy to defend because everyone's just kind of crowded in one position. That's I don't like that play call. I mean, you might have someone get picked off there. And even with the bad play call, this is a throw that should have been made by Jimmy. And as much as I don't want Kyle Shanahan to call this, this probably would have been 10 yards had Jimmy not messed this up. And the way Jimmy messed this up is right here. He catches it, and he needs to immediately throw it. But instead, he does a little hop step and then throws it. And I'll show it to you again here. Look at this little hop step. It should be right here. You should 1, 2, throw it. But he throws it too late. He gives Kansas City a time to break on the ball, and that's just irresponsible. He needs to throw it the second he catches the ball right here. Catch, throw, right there. Look, boom, right here. You just hit him right there in the numbers. This defender will not have time to get to him. It will not, and that'll probably be a completion. They'll probably be a little short of the first down. Jimmy Garoppolo messed that play up a little bit, and this is when you start seeing the bad side of Jimmy come out. I think he has 2 bad consecutive plays in a row that kind of decide the game, and you hate to see it. We all know what this play is going to be. So we're going to have these guys just kind of run to the first down marker and get in front of it. And then you're going to have Emmanuel Sanders run like a little skinny post or a little deep post. Almost a go route, but it's made specifically to beat this double coverage that's going to be on him. And honestly, it's a great play. And you see what happens here is Kansas City's playing terrible defense. I mean, this guy should be bailing backwards. They should be bailing. And Kansas City is playing bad defense here. The cornerback hips are turned that way, while Emmanuel Sanders turned this way. He's going to get burnt. This guy's just staring at his back, and the other safety is completely oblivious because this guy's wide open in the middle of the field. So there's multiple places Jimmy Garoppolo could have gone, but he ended up going, to Emmanuel Sanders, and that was the right play call. I mean, look at this. That's the right read. You can't fault Jimmy's read. Look at this. This is wide open. This is wide open in the NFL. You got to make this throw. This is why you're being paid. And the criticism Jimmy Garoppolo gets on this play in particular, that's fair. I mean, that's just fair. Okay, he should have made that throw. That's not a difficult throw that we shouldn't expect him to make. I mean, you should make that throw or at least give the guy a chance. It shouldn't be an overthrown like that. But, you hate to see it. Either way, it was a good game. At this point, the game's pretty much over. It's a 4th and 10, and unless you're Patrick Mahomes, you're not going to convert this usually. So what's going to happen is they're just going to dial up the blitz. I mean, look at this. It's a complete mess down here. It is a complete mess, and, when a complete mess happens, people start improvising on the defensive line, and a good defensive line will get that sack. And that's exactly what happened. We're going to see an improvised stunt by Kansas City. And we got to give Kansas City credit on this drive. Guys, these are professional players, all right? Just because Jimmy messed it up. No, 4th and 10, the Kansas City line did a great job getting to the quarterback. Look at this. This is an improvised stunt here. He's going to block him into his own man. And then 55 is going to realize this and see, oh, okay, you just gave me a free lane to the quarterback. And boom, he stunts around him, gets his ankles broken. Whoop, right there. Got him. And Jimmy, out of desperation, tries to throw it. Sorry, not today. Your dream's over. Super Bowl 1. 125 left in the quarter. And, the Super Bowl is basically over at this point. I just want to express how it's not all Kyle Shanahan's fault, okay? I don't get why this is being sensationalized for the media, all right? If Andy Reid had lost this, then it'd be Reid's fault for all these other different reasons. All right, the truth is it's everybody's fault. The receivers messed up in the final drive. The O-line should have pass protected better. Jimmy Garoppolo missed open throws. It turned out to be in that fourth quarter, the team just didn't execute, But as far as the plays Kyle Shanahan dialed up, I thought they were great. And I got to give credit to Kansas City. They played great defense on that last drive. They did. And to say he should have just kept running, sure, you might have been able to keep running, but it's not guaranteed. So do I blame Kyle Shanahan? No. I give most of the credit to Patrick Mahomes' freak arm and Andy Reid's amazing ability to, coach teams as well. So I got to give credit with credit's due here. I don't think the 49ers self-destructed. I think two really great teams battled it out, and one became victor, which is, Patrick Mahomes' teams, because he's got an amazing, unbelievable talent. And it is a better talent than Jimmy Garoppolo. So that's kind of my take on it. Hope you guys have a good night. Bye.